Can one awaken someone intentionally? Well, if one have undergone the full awakening of Kundalini, then by then one would hopefully arrive to great understanding of how things are. And with that great understanding, of course, one will be much less propelled, go around and just kind of distribute that awakening left, right, and center, right? So that hopefully they would be accompanied by a tremendous degree of discrimination in terms of what one is dealing with. Is it possible that a Kundalini awakened person is likely to awaken other people unconsciously and unintentionally, or even intentionally? Well, let's look into this, because it depends what we refer to when we use the term awaken, you see? It is very well known clinically that when someone has a lot of pranic activity even, let alone an active awakened Kundalini, particularly in the raw earlier phases, that their body and their whole field is much more electric. Clinical accounts of people are blowing fuses, it's very well known, igniting, starting certain even equipment without any intention, just like because there's a much more heightened electric activity. And that in itself, of course, doesn't mean that awakening is taking place. What happens is rather in the presence of these people in whom there's very heightened pranic activity or an active Kundalini, that it is more likely that the people who are in direct contact can be zapped by that energy. Not to be confused with the way, let's say, transmission of power or the descent of power functions, the so-called Shaktipat. It will be a gross misunderstanding or misinterpretation of a true nature of Shaktipat, and simply someone being zapped in the presence of someone who is undergoing Kundalini process. So unintentionally, therefore, we already, hopefully this is clear, that it cannot be qualified as an awakening. Zapping someone may cause just, may be accompanied by even pleasurable experiences. Someone may feel a certain sense of greater connectedness. Someone may fall into spontaneous meditation. Someone may feel suddenly even displaying great activity of pranic flow, some kriyas. Someone may experience like sudden unexplainable rush of joy, happiness, or it may be experienced unpleasantly. Someone may experience this as irritation, this kind of literally clinically electric activity in the body, tingling sensations, literally a rush of energy through the body. Experience which may result in some somatic, let's say, aches and pains, headaches. And so not to be all brushed with the same, as it were, brush. Can one awaken someone intentionally? Well, if one have undergone the full awakening of Kundalini, then by then one would hopefully arrive to great understanding of how things are. And with that great understanding, of course, one will be much less propelled, go around and just kind of distribute that awakening left, right, and center, right? So that hopefully they would be accompanied by a tremendous degree of discrimination in terms of what one is dealing with. So the greater amount of energy one embodies the great amount of, let's say, realization, it always on par with the understanding of that this is not just like a frivolous affair to go and pass it around. Even if there is this slogan circulating, well, the more of us awakened are out there, the better that is for all concerned. True to some degree, it's a questionable, really, affair, because assisting in such awakening needs to be accompanied by a full gamut of, let's say, what one is to offer. So it's not just like, set someone's on fire and go next day. There needs to be, a lot goes into this. There needs to be an understanding of the degree of responsibility that one is involved and deal with. Preparedness of the one in whom that takes place. Yes, awakening is on the rise, and there's a lot of spontaneous awakening. In our work, a lot of people come to us because of the years of awakening. In some cases, awakening took place decades ago. In other cases, maybe weeks ago. And in those cases where the decades ago, it may be resulted in incomplete awakening or accumulation of chronic conditions because not knowing how to balance the act. So this is where the true work begins and unfolds from. So bottom line is there have to be this rule of thumb. So safety comes first. One's safety in terms of not to get engaged in this maybe driven perhaps by not fully acknowledged, not fully processed understanding of why would one engage in such act. And I've witnessed that myself. I've witnessed that somehow when I have had people starting gathering around me whilst I was still in my sadhana, to me it was very, very clear, no, I don't want to, like, none of that. It has to be very clearly defined that if someone is in the process of their unfoldment and they know that they are consciously given to these years of spiritual sadhana, which ideally should result in a certain healthy degree of integration, sort of regain the ground beneath their feet, to be truly rooted, even if they have been rerouted now and rooted in the higher reality, in the greater reality, they still need to firmly be planted back into this world, into this earth, before embarking on taking someone on the path to self-realization with them as they go along. So these are my reflections on possibilities, but everything is possible in our day and age, and everything goes in our day and age. So it is for you to apply discrimination.